Welcome back to another edition of Arizona Wildcats Insiders Podcast. I'm your host, Troy Hutchison. We are just days away from Arizona kicking off its second game of the season against Weber State. Previously, the Wildcats are coming off of an impressive 40-6 win over the Hawaii Rainbow Warriors to open the season up. In that game, Arizona rushed for 183 total rushing yards. The top three backs for the Wildcats had 199 yards on the ground, with Quincy Craig leading the way. He had 7 carries for 125 yards and a touchdown. It was an impressive performance that was capped off with a 54-yard touchdown run, making it 14-3 Arizona early on in the game, and that really was all she wrote. It was all Arizona from that point forward. The passing game got better as the game went along. It was a little shaky. Noah Fafita wasn't perfect. He was 13 of 23. Again, it got better in the second half. He passed for 161 yards with a touchdown and ran it in for a touchdown as well, but no turnovers, and he was sacked only 2 times. So we saw an improvement on the offensive side compared to last year. We saw Fafita get better as the game went along, and we saw a much improved running game. And again, Seth Day as offense coordinator, I know there's some skeptics out there amongst Wildcat fans, which is mind-boggling, but he's an air raid guy that isn't afraid to run the football. He came over from Marshall. They had the number 20th rushing offense in the country, despite him being an air raid guy. And that's kind of what won him over the job. Is when Brennan interviewed him, he said, you have to run to win games, period. And you don't see a lot of offense coordinators with an air raid mindset say that. And it's one thing to say it, it's another thing to do it. And you saw in Arizona's first win of the season, it was a balanced attack, and with the run going well, they stuck with the run. 33 carries, 183 yards, and 4 touchdowns. That's a good day at the office. That's a damn good day at the office. So I thought Arizona looked good there. I thought defensively they got better as the game went along. Again, that's the theme. More snaps, more drives. Arizona got better. They were able to walk away with 5 sacks. Very high number, very good number. Their biggest sack total in a very long time. They held Hawaii to 67 yards rushing on the ground, which defense coordinator Danny Gonzalez wasn't thrilled about, that they gave up 67 yards rushing. Again, you have to factor in sacks. So 5 sacks, let's say about 40-plus yards there. If Arizona had 16 yards on 2 sacks, we're going to say about 40 to 50 yards in sack totals. So Hawaii could have ran the ball for 110-ish, 120 yards. And Danny Gonzalez was not happy about that. They finished with 290 yards total offense. Again, a stat that he was not happy with. They didn't give up a touchdown. It's the first time they haven't given up a touchdown since their last win over Houston last season, beating the Houston Cougars 27-3. But it's their first non-conference power, well, not Power 5, but FBS opponent that they haven't given up a touchdown to, dating back to the 2010 season, so 15 years, when Mike Stoops and his Wildcats beat Toledo 41-2. So very impressive day at the office for Arizona. I think there's a lot of positives to draw from it. There's some areas that they need to grow and work from. So overall, I'd give Arizona a B, solid B. Good performance. Did what you're supposed to do. You smacked the heck out of Hawaii, and now you move on and get ready for Weber State. Now, even in a blowout win against Weber State, there are guys that didn't see the football field. There are guys that didn't get playing time, and there are some guys that, were banged up, so they didn't see the field. So as you look at the Weber State game, who are 3 players that I expect to get more playing time this time around, and maybe even get a high snap total if the game's a blowout by the end of the first half? Let's start off with the quarterback position. During the offseason, Arizona worked diligently to add depth and talent behind Noah Fafita, because last season it was Noah Fafita and nobody else. He had no talent. He had no depth. Braden Dorman wasn't getting it done. You had a bunch of walk-ons and a bunch of guys that have never started in the FBS level. You couldn't trust anybody from that group to get put into the middle of a game. What do the Wildcats do? What does Seth Diggy and Brennan do? They go out and snag Braden Locke from Wisconsin, who, in my opinion, could start for various schools, not only in the Big 12, but across the country. I think he could probably start for 75 teams 75% of the country. He's that good of a quarterback. He started in 16 games for Wisconsin, had 18 touchdown passes to 11 interceptions. So, has a little bit of Jay Cutler in him, a big arm, big rocket of an arm, but sometimes puts the ball in a dangerous situation. This training camp, he looked really good. I thought he had the best arm on the roster. He's a guy that I think Arizona fans will love once Noah Fafita ends his college career. I think he is the quarterback in waiting. He did get in the game a little bit against Hawaii for a drive or two. Nothing serious, not a lot of passing going on there. But I think against Weber State, you could see him play maybe the whole entire second half. And you could see him sling the ball maybe about 15 times, 20 times in the game, depending upon when he gets in. I think this is an opportunity for him to show this coaching staff that he's legitimate. Now, again, the starting quarterback job is Noah Fafita. That's not going to change. But if anything happened this season where Noah gets hurt, now you have a backup quarterback that can guide you through those games, could guide you through that drive or the series. So I look for Braden Locke to get into the game a little bit more against Weber State, and I think he's going to have a successful night. Number 2, we'll go with an injured player that has been with the starting unit during training camp, has gotten better throughout training camp as well, but had an injury and didn't play against Hawaii, and that's Riley Wilson. The outside linebacker / edge rusher looked really good in training camp. They're able to use them all over the field. A lot of experience at that linebacker position for him. He's seen a lot of football. He brings some nice length and athleticism, which I don't think you look at him and go, athleticism. No, he's very athletic, very good, very powerful. I think he's going to start. Well, maybe not start, but he'll be in the rotation against Weber State, and him and Chase Kennedy will be a nice 1-2 punch for the Wildcats this season. So I look for him to have a big game. I think anything for him around, like, let's say 6 tackles and maybe a sack with a couple tackles for loss, that's a great game. I think you're going to be able to see him switch with Kennedy and keep those guys fresh. Those are the top 2, we'll say, weak side edge rushers for Arizona, because on the strong side is Trey Smith. But I think that's a nice added boost for the Wildcats defense. I'm excited to see him out on the football field. I'm excited to see him versus Weber State. What I really want to see is how he plays and how he moves. Maybe not necessarily the final stat line, but if he's moving very well. Because if he is, then he's a full go for Kansas State. And I think that's the most important thing right then and there is his hip movement, his lateral movements, his quickness off the ball. Let's see how he looks out there on the field. And then lastly, we'll go with the running back position. Again, it's a little bit of a logjam at running back there. Quincy Craig had a great game. Kedrick Risano is the top back on the team. He had 10 carries for 51 yards against Hawaii and a touchdown. And you have Ishmael Mahdi, who's a nice change of pace back, a very good speed back, and can do a lot of things. You have a versatile running back room. But to me, one of the top 3 running backs in training camp ahead of Craig, and again, Craig had a great game, was able to showcase his talents, was freshman running back and former 4-star recruit Wesley Yarborough. Guy's built like a brick house. He's a tank out there on the football field. He blocks at a high level. He's great at getting to the next level in his running game. He's good at finding the hole, and he's got really good power. He's got great combo of power and speed, but he has that finishing strength that you just can't teach. Defenders bounce off him when he hits them. They don't hit him. He hits them. Very talented back. I think if this was last season, he would have been the starter by the end of the year, given that Ja'Cory Krosky-Merritt had his eligibility issues. Kedrick Risano got banged up a little bit. Quali Conley got banged up a little bit. I think he would have been the starting back at the end of the year if he was a year earlier. Again, one of the best freshman backs in U of A history is Nick Wilson in that season that they had to get to the Fiesta Bowl. Is he going to have that type of a year? No. But I think this is a good game against Weber State to get him maybe 7 to 10 carries and see him go off for 80, 100 yards. He has that type of talent. He's a Houston and Texas boy that has a lot of skills that he brings to the table. I think U of A fans are going to love seeing him out there on the field. Now, he wears the number 0. I'm not big on the number 0, but if you're able to get in the end zone, who cares? Who the hell cares? So look for Wesley Yarborough, Braden Locke, and Riley Wilson to make an impact for Arizona against Weber State.